Stroke, and it is May, and it's Stroke Awareness Month. And I'm your host, Jerry Wald, and a stroke survivor. So for those of you that are new here, I started doing this show to bring out awareness to stroke, TBI, aphasia, brain injuries, and also to provide a platform for all survivors to share their journeys from all across the world, and also to bring on experts in brain health so they can share their knowledge with all of us. And there's a lot to learn about that. So anyway, I want to bring on my this morning's guest, and Ryan and Anna Teal. And Ryan had an ischemic stroke. I believe we'll get into that. I believe 34 years old. And so we'll talk about that. And Anna, his wife, is the caregiver, and they're very passionate about aphasia. And they started I'll say a company of called Aphasia Readers, which is dedicated really to aphasia. So please ask questions, make comments, and if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Stroke, and we'll go ahead and get started here. So again, please ask questions. We'll see you in just 1 second.
Me to dance, taking a chance.
All righty, good morning, everybody, and I welcome you here. And also, good morning, Aubrey, Serena. Look at all you guys. Oh my goodness, here. So let's go on and bring on Ryan and Anna.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone, and Ryan and Anna. You know, there are so many comments here. I'll just, before we just go ahead and get into it here. Jocelyn, nice to see you. I'll just bring up some so you can see them, because I don't know if you can't see them on unless I bring them on. Yeah. Aubrey, nice to see you here. Good morning. And Serena, she's from Canada. And oh, and Rick Cleveland here. I don't know if you saw my show the other day with Rick. Nice to see you. And Catherine, nice to see you. And they're welcoming you. And I'm glad you guys are here. There's so many coming out here. So anyway, I don't want to take away from me, because it's all about you guys. And let's start with who was Ryan and Anna before Ryan's stroke.
I think we were just typical, like 30-year-olds just living life. You know, I had just accepted a new job. I was like 2 days into a new job that I had accepted. Ryan was looking at, you know, potential career advancements as well. We were just kind of like living life like normal people do. And yeah, that he ended up having a stroke. An ischemic stroke, February 6, 2018, which totally, like I said, turned our world upside down, as you know. I mean, you've been through it, and so many others have been through a similar thing. And he, thank God, I mean, he fell out of bed. That's when it happened at night, around midnight, and he fell out of bed, and that's how I knew something was wrong. And at that time, you know, when you're young, you don't think about the signs of stroke. We didn't know what that looked like. We were totally naive to a lot of those things. And, you know, but I knew something was wrong when I saw him on the floor, and he couldn't get up. Yeah, he said funnies. He was laughing, you know, and I was like, did he just fall out of bed and he's laughing about it? Like, was this an accident? But he just kept laughing. I said, Ryan, like, what is going on? And looking back, I wish I would not have wasted that time questioning him, because, you know, like, you got to get someone to the hospital so quickly to get, you know, for the best results for recovery moving forward. So, but at that time I didn't know. So I was trying to ask him, like, are you okay? Do I need to call for help? And then when I went to get him up, he couldn't use his right side. So he had the right side weakness. And that's when I knew. I said, okay, this is not good. And he couldn't speak. He couldn't talk. But he was laughing. So that's what confused me
Yeah.
in the moment. But then, we called 911, the paramedics came, and we were able to get him the help he needed. But it was a really scary journey because he had a condition called Eagle syndrome. It's very rare. And it's where your styloid bones, which are the bones between your ear and your jaw,
Yeah.
they're only supposed to be like this big, but Ryan's is like this big.
One, two.
Right.
And they're both on both sides.
Yeah.
And so he was just getting over the flu and coughing a lot. And so we think that might have caused some interaction with his front carotid arteries, which one of them collapsed, the other one collapsed, and only the one side formed a blood clot that went to his brain, which caused the stroke. So very different. Like when people have a stroke, I don't know if you guys know, but it's only like typically one side has the issue. It's not both.
Right.
So it was a very scary situation. And like I said, I didn't know what was going on from a caregiver standpoint when he was in the emergency room, but we had to kind of learn really fast and, figure things out. When we got to the hospital, they had told us that he had a stroke, and we didn't know the severity of it until we were kind of further along. But
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Did you know? I think you said it. Maybe I missed it. Did you know what a stroke was? I mean, the warning signs then?
No, we did
Yeah.
not. I did not. Did you, Ryan? Did
No.
you know? I don't know that he knew that he was having a stroke.
Right.
But yeah, so we didn't know. And that's why looking back, that's another reason why we're so passionate about getting the word about stroke awareness and what to look for, the signs, like educating people on these things at a younger age, because you do see young people having these things, and
Right.
time is so critical to like take action and get them the help, quickly. But yeah,
No.
I just did. I didn't think it would ever happen to us,
Right.
like so many people, you just don't think about it.
Yeah. So then, then you started this right here. I'll put it on the screen here. AphasiaReaders.com.
Right. So that was basically an idea, as we kind of moved through the recovery process with
Sure.
Ryan, he was, and I will say every person with aphasia and their rehab, it's different. Some people experience, neurofatigue. Some
Yes.
people, when they're kind of recovering and they have a regimen. And like, I know Ryan was at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta for about a little over a month. And then he went into their outpatient program. But after he finished that, he really, you go home and you're like, what do I do now?
Right.
You may have like speech therapy, you may have other things that you can take part in, and like group therapy, which is so important. But there's also a need for like accessible tools like that you can purchase, or that you can have if you want to practice like reading out loud. Like for Ryan, he would do his speech therapy, but then he's like, I need more practice and a different kind of practice. And, doing things over and over and over and over and over again, that's what helps make those new pathways in the brain. So,
Sure.
make new connections. And so with talking with our neurologist, what kind of sparked all this is that he said, recommended some children's books for us to read that had icons above the words that helped with word retrieval. So he could kind of get that word out. And we bought the books, and I was like, this is great. But the only thing about it was that it was very childish. So, it was like short books that were talking about like your toys, or, going to grandma's house, or like it was very elementary, so like,
Completely understand.
well, we laughed it off,
Yeah.
it kind of sparked like a idea. And, Ryan had gone to the University of Michigan for intensive speech therapy. And so we had this idea rolling in our head, like, hey, why, what if we just develop something? Like, we've never published any books, we've never done anything, but we had the want to do it. And so we talked with the University of Michigan about it and said, hey, like, would you guys work with us from, because they have a whole network of SLPs and they have a wonderful program there. I mean, it's like the best in the nation. And, they were like, sure, we couldn't produce that, but if you wanted to, we can kind of give you input and guide you from an SLP perspective, which kind of gave us the validity we needed to be able to create this resource. So it's almost like the stars aligned and we were able to do it. And, like the books, we thought we wanted to be really thoughtful about it, especially like people who wanted to read out loud and practice their sentences by reading out loud. We wanted to make sure, like from a strokes perspective, some people have weaker sides. And so our books, like you can see, are perfect bound.
Okay.
So, they lay flat. You don't have to fuss with it, to like turn the pages or anything. It's just easy.
Yeah, show. I'm gonna put you on screen about so you could show everybody here.
Yeah. So
1, 2,
so
3.
it opens like really easy, and it can lay flat. You don't have to kind of fuss with it. So we tried to be really thoughtful and design something that Ryan, was a huge part of it. He was a good guinea pig in the process. And we tried to design something that we would want to use every day and that would encourage us, and that would be functional. And so what these books are, we've got 3 of them now. And each one has what we call sessions, and they're basically themes for discussion. They're written in a dialogue setting, so you can practice by yourself or you can practice with a loved one or caregiver. For example, this is our good morning session in our first book. So it's very simple sentences. We have the icons above the words. We have visual support. And it's really nice.
Sure.
You can practice and really, feel like you're practicing sentences and words that you're going to use. So they're like functional phrases. So when you get done practicing, you can use them during the day. You can kind of think, oh, I practiced that. That's a sentence I can use if I need help to tie my shoe, or like, ask for help, or be independent in your community, or even, like having a conversation with your loved one or friend. So those are the topics that we cover in our books. It's really to kind of take the intimidation factor away from, when you have aphasia, you have to relearn everything, but starting with functional phrases that you use every day to make you feel good and confident about your practice is kind of what we wanted to do, and make it feel adult, to bring a little bit of dignity back into that type of resource.
Yeah, that really, you hit the nail right on the head. Like the books, when I started doing that, I really didn't want to go to speech therapy. I really, because of that, teaching, I have to read a kid's book. I couldn't read anyway, but that's how we start. And so what you're doing is just incredible, because that, takes your dignity. You already had the stroke, and then when you first have it, as probably, they're bathing you, they're doing everything. Your dignity's, your pride is gone. So how long, really, to go back, how long were you in the hospital? Ryan was in
He was in the hospital, I think a total of 2.5 months. He was in 1 month, like in Kennestone, and then 1.5 in Shepherd Center.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So if you guys go to that website, bring it up again. Yeah, Simply Aubrey, nice to see you. This is quite the website. So if you guys go to there, the books are there, the 3 books you have currently, but there's so much information there. It's wonderful done. I mean, you guys did that great job, Ryan and Anna. You did a wonderful job on that website.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We
Absolutely.
worked really hard on it. We're really passionate about helping others, making it easier for people who come after us, because we know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And I've told so many people, I wish we could give the books away for free. I really do. But like, there's illustrative, illustrations, cost money and things like that, the print costs, but we
Yes.
really try to, we give back a portion of each book sold to help create aphasia awareness and to
Right.
also help other people afford intensive speech therapy. Because, while our books are nice, like they're not intended to replace your regular speech therapy. You still need to do that, but it's kind of like a support tool for your, if you want to get extra practice in, you have a relevant, tool to use and
Right.
you feel comfortable using it. And it's designed for people with aphasia,
Yeah. Yeah. It is aphasia. It's just such a tough
Mhm.
thing. If you guys go through the website, I mean, I think everybody, not everybody, because it's 8.8% is what you say is what the people know about aphasia.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it might be a little higher now. I think that survey was taken a couple of years ago before the Bruce Willis thing. So
Yes.
Bruce Willis may have helped raise that number quite a bit. I'd be interested to know, what it is now because he kind of almost single-handedly
Yeah.
helped create aphasia awareness.
Yeah. So true.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
So what? And so spent 2.5 months in the hospital,
yeah.
and d- um, do you still go to? I mean, you've got all the resources there, your books and all that, but do you still go to speech therapy? Is that something you still do? Or you guys do it there?
Yeah, well, Ryan participates in speech therapy virtually through a couple of our local universities, which, I'd encourage anybody watching if you want to reach out to your local universities who have like SLP programs. You can get really great, sometimes free, sometimes they'll charge. I mean, it's cheaper than what you would pay probably even with insurance sometimes, but you get great therapy
Yeah,
from someone who's training to be an SLP and they have someone that oversees them working with you. So it's wonderful. And like I said, most programs or most universities have those programs that you can, inquire about. But that's what, yeah, Ryan definitely gets involved in that. And he also participates in a lot of groups. I know like Speech Recovery Pathways, the
yep,
one that was formed by Ted Baxter and his group is great.
yeah,
And Ryan participates in that. There's all kinds of them out there that you can, but I feel like that's important with someone who has aphasia, like to feel like you're in a safe space to talk and practice and connect with other people who know what you're going through. Like nobody
yeah.
knows more how to help you and support you than someone who's gone through it.
Very true. I keep thinking back when I had my stroke. When I had it, you go to a stroke support group in the hospital. I think you probably went through that too. And when I went to the stroke support group, I was more embarrassed that I had the stroke. So I was hiding behind some other people,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to be called on.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what to say because I don't. You really can't talk, and they're asking you questions like you don't want an open-ended question. Then you're all we're lost.
Yeah, I know. It is hard, and I think that's what, having that confidence to be okay and be out there and put yourself out there and
Yeah,
try and keep working harder and get that support. And you see other people working hard too, because it's a long recovery, as you know, like you have to just keep at it for years and years sometimes, but you can get better, you can improve. That's one of
yeah.
the lies that really irks me when I hear doctors say, "Oh, you're gonna plateau after 2 years." No, you're not. You have to
I
keep
know.
fighting. I hate when I don't know who's teaching that, but I wish they would stop.
Yeah, I tell you that's I, the what do you call it? I don't like that either because I don't know if that's been you said Ryan was told plateau after I was told like a year to 2 years that I plateaued.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
that's the worst feeling. That's like a
It
dirty
sets
word,
it sets
plateau.
you up for failure, I feel like, and, as long as you're determined, I hate it. I hate it when they say that because it plants a seed in your mind that
Yeah.
like I'm not going to get better, and that's the worst thing you can do for someone who's wanting to recover and passionate about their recovery. Um, and I just, yeah, I I say if don't listen to the doctors, just
I'm with you on that.
fight.
Frustrating, frustrating.
Yes.
Um, let's see. There's so many.
Oh,
I- so many comments. I'm sure you've seen them, and I'm trying to bring as much as I can. I'm sure if I've missed some, um, oops, sorry. But
okay.
Ryan and Anna will go back and see all the comments, and but yeah. So there's yeah. I don't. Okay, this is there's quite a bunch of people out here, and I know I could bring them up on the screen, but then it kind of cuts you down a little there. But so how we haven't heard Ryan say anything, which when you have aphasia, I totally understand. You heard me introduce the show, mumbling around on this thing, so
Mhm.
I totally understand. But
Do you want to say anything?
anything?
Do you want to say anything?
Good, good. Listen, yes.
Oh, he's listening and following along with his speech to text app.
Oh, good. Okay, okay, good. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So, how in the beginning? Well, because I know this was for I think everybody. How the mental health part of it in the beginning? Did you go through any of that? That some people just have depression, or they just in the beginning. Because I think of myself and some of the people I've interviewed, almost 100% go through those times. Like, oh, this is how that goes.
Yeah. I think that's totally normal. And like
Yeah.
Ryan is mostly a positive person, but
Yeah.
he did have times when, understandably so, he was really sad about what happened.
Yeah.
And it took him a little while to kind of realize what he was going through. Like, he doesn't remember a lot when he was like in the first hospital.
Right.
He only
Okay.
remembers mostly when he was at Shepherd Center. So there's kind of a gap in his brain where he doesn't remember, and it's probably a good thing that he doesn't, because
Yeah.
that was tough. But over the years, I think he gets really sad around his like stroke anniversary.
Yeah.
And I do too, because it's almost a reminder of what you've lost.
Yeah.
But you also have to think of everything you've gained as well. You have tremendous support. We're connected with people like you, Jerry. Like, we get to meet so many amazing people who are doing so many wonderful things. And
Right.
so as long as you have that balance, I think you'll be okay. But, I think it's normal and okay to have those
Yeah.
moments where you just say, this sucks. And,
Yeah.
because it does.
Yeah.
And, but you have to keep getting back up.
Right.
You fall and you keep getting back up. You have to keep at it.
Yeah. There's now. Did you someone with? Sorry if I missed, but I saw someone had asked what the app that was Ryan's using.
Oh, he has a Google Pixel. So it's the Google Recorder that comes with Google, but he also uses Otter. It's Otter, and that's a free app that you can download. I think it's available on both iPhone and Androids, and you can listen. And it does it translates speech to text. And
Nice.
like I said, every person with aphasia is different. With Ryan, he had some comprehension issues. Like, he didn't understand what we were saying. Like, in the beginning, like, he didn't know what we were saying.
Sure.
But over time that got better, thankfully. But he could read 100%. So we would write things out for him. And so that kind of helps when we're switching context in a conversation. He can follow very, easily. And so it's really been a godsend in that way. Very thankful to be in the age of technology where we can have that to, be social. It helps him a lot.
Yeah. So do you, when you guys go out and about, do you ever Well, I mean, because for me, I have to think about, okay, if there's rocks in the road or if there's a lot of people, I walk. Some of my grandkids say, "You walk like a penguin, Papa." 'Cause I swing my leg out. Do you walk? I mean, Ryan, do you walk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
he walks.
Yeah.
He walks. He does have a weaker right side, so he tends to kind of tilt a little, and he has a little bit of a
Teeth.
limp,
I
but
understand. Yeah. Yeah.
and he has a very spastic pinky. So,
Uh,
so,
wow. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, I understand. Do you wear an AFO?
he does. He does.
Okay.
Mhm. It helps with his ankle because his ankle is still like a little weak, and
Yeah.
if
Me too. I wear one.
you do too, yeah.
Yeah.
They're great because they help you keep you from rolling your ankle if you're out in the yard or, doing anything
Yeah.
crazy or walking on trails or
Yeah. I know. I tried not using it, but then I tripped over a carpet, broke my hip, and now I'm back in it. But
oh gosh.
yeah, so I recommend don't. I don't know if you've had falls or.
He did. He had
Yeah.
a very big fall.
Oh yeah.
And that's what, like in your recovery, sometimes you're going to have setbacks and sometimes you're going to have things that happen. And it's crazy. We got back from a trip. We had gone like for a couple of days at the beach. It was like almost 2 years after his stroke.
Right.
And we just needed some time away. Like it was a very stressful time. And the first day we got back, he decided that he was going to take the luggage up the stairs by himself
Oh.
and lost his balance and fell down the stairs.
Nothing
And
broken?
heart attack.
Yeah, I bet you were.
He
Yeah.
did have a little bit of a ruptured, like something at the base of his neck, but he was okay. Like he's very lucky that he did not have any major issues from that fall because
Oops.
it was awful. So that's the thing. Like I said, you have to realize, I mean, push yourself, but realize things that are not safe to do and don't do them.
Exactly. That's
Yes.
unbelievable.
Mhm.
Mike, he loves you too. I warned you about Mike.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Mike is from South Wales, United Kingdom. So he didn't make fun of me yet, but that's okay. But so what else about the stroke? I mean, you're doing this daily routine with your company, Aphasia Readers.
Yeah. Yeah, we like in addition to the books, and I kind of forgot to mention that with the books, they're meant to be reading, you read and read it aloud to
Yeah.
practice speech, but we also put some customization or some customizable sections in there for you. So you can put your coffee order in there and practice it.
Oh,
And
nice.
you can either like take it with you to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or wherever you like to go and then use it and read it out loud to order, or you can practice it and just without the book and try to be independent in that way. So there's a couple of those. And then we have like an ordering out section that has a customizable menu in the back. So you can really like customize things to what you need and what you want. And then we also have some reading support in here, not reading, but writing support. We have, like a write about what you see. So you can describe this setting, like her shirt is red, or, he's wearing headphones, or, you can just describe some of these intricate scenes to practice your writing practice. And we've got a couple of those throughout each of our books. So all of them, level 1, 2, and 3 have that in them where it's necessary.
Yeah.
So, and we try to incorporate
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The first level is more of a base level practice. It's got 1 and 2 syllables, short sentences, functional phrases. The second book is more like intermediate. So as you get further along in your recovery and you need something a little bit more challenging, you'll have that support.
Right.
And it has mostly like 2 and 3 syllables. And then the third one is more advanced. So it's got longer sentences and more syllables. So, but yeah, we try to incorporate humor too when we can, because as you know, like
Yeah.
life with aphasia is hard and
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to laugh.
Yeah.
So like here's one of the write about me sections,
Oh,
a dog making,
yeah.
a mess in the kitchen. And
Great job
so
on that. Great job. Do you record yourselves, or Ryan? Does Ryan record himself? Because that really helped me in the beginning. Um,
yeah,
you
he
know,
does. He uses his speech to text app when he's practicing to make sure he's pronouncing words correctly and they're
right.
registering correctly, which is great because if I'm not able to work with him, he can use that as kind of like a check and balance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he can, make sure that he's doing what, because sometimes it's hard to hear yourself, I think, or at
Yeah.
least with Ryan, it's
Yeah.
hard to
No,
know if you're saying it correctly.
it's so true because believe it, I'm not well. About 2 years ago, maybe less, I went back to speech therapy because I finally accepted that I need it. Just because I thought when I first had it, oh, my wife said, I said, I don't need speech therapy. I don't know what I was saying, but she kept forcing me, like, you have to go, have to go. I still did not do it until just 2 years ago. Then they started recording me. I said, oh my gosh, I sound like a heel, right? I mean, I sound bad, so I accepted it that I need to do this. So
Yeah.
those books, and I did go back, but like you said earlier, it's almost like demeaning when you have to read a children's book in the beginning, count 1, 2, really? But
Yeah.
the books that you did are make it more logical or sensible or better for us to read that makes sense instead of pulling up my if I have a 1-year-old or somebody's book or something.
I know. And it's just a great like base level practice and I think it's so needed. And we've gotten people say like that they think it's great for people who have even like Alzheimer's or, other kind of like
Yeah.
reading,
Yeah.
conditions. So we've gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of different people that, saying it might not, it could be used outside of the aphasia realm, which is nice to hear too,
Yeah.
that it could help, other people. But I mean, that's our biggest desire is just to help make it easier and provide a resource that people can use. And it's not super expensive and it's
Right.
accessible. You can buy it on Amazon or through our website. We'd appreciate it if you bought it through our website because we get more back, but
Yeah. And
it's
there it
more
is.
for us to give back. But Amazon, they just have so many fees they charge you. But yeah, so that's just our main goal and our main desire, just to help others like us, because we know the journey and it's tough and it's hard and it can be, you
Yeah,
know,
it is. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy having a stroke, and um, now I have my passion. Now you since Ryan had a stroke, look what you guys are doing now. It's
yeah.
almost it's your passion. I mean, that's what it is to teach other people that you're not alone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, from a caregiver's perspective too, I wanted to mention this that we created what we call fridge functional phrases.
Right?
So those are also on our website under the like resources tab. They are just short, like printables that you can print out and put on your fridge to practice. Like, say, if you're getting ready to go to a wedding, like it's wedding season, almost now. So,
Yeah.
to
Right.
make you feel like confident when you're out and talking with family or friends, you
Yeah.
have a few phrases to practice to get ready for that event so you don't feel as lonely. Because sometimes, I would notice Ryan just kind of sitting in the corner, not, engaging with people. And so I'm like, that what led me to develop these like free printables, and like they're printer friendly. They don't take up a lot of your ink. I tried to be very mindful of that because my printer sucks. So like
I understand about that.
need to print.
Well,
Oh,
what
not
I wanted to ask is that is when you just said, Ryan, like sitting and I completely understand if we have a lot of people or a lot of people, so many conversations going on. Does that kind of mess with you? I mean, 'cause I know for me it does. You're trying to concentrate on one conversation, and I can hear everybody else talking, and I don't know. That's probably similar. Does Ryan probably go through that?
Yeah, well, with Ryan, he's always trying to like catch up and put his phone, and follow the conversation.
Yeah,
But, people sometimes they forget or, and it's not any of their fault. They're just, doing what they know to be natural. But
right.
it does make it a little difficult for Ryan to engage. It's better one-on-one, with
Yeah,
him. But sometimes the situation doesn't present itself that way. So you have to be flexible.
yeah. And you mentioned when the anniversary comes up. Um,
Oh, yeah.
those are I know exactly those are for me difficult times, and also like we had to go to a doctor appointment yesterday, and this ambulance was coming right. I don't know if that bothers you, Ryan. The ambulance was the sirens going, everything, and this that's what really kind of gets to me when I hear the ambulance. I just kind of get choked up.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a form of PTSD, I think, like
Yeah,
that you have from it. And I think everybody has different triggers,
right.
but it is hard. It's very hard. And I admire people that are so positive
Yeah,
around their stroke anniversary because I see on Facebook and some of the groups that we're in, I'm like, oh, that's so great that they're so positive.
yeah.
And I try like every year to be very positive, but then there's always like that piece of me that's, sad. And maybe it'll always be that way. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But, you
Yeah,
know,
interesting. Interesting, because it's you know, 5 years after my stroke, my wife says, "Go to the airport." I used to fly airplanes, so go to the airport and maybe you can volunteer. Well, first of all, I can't get on a ladder to like refuel planes, or so. Turned around, came home, and then my kids said, "Why don't you?" Because I didn't. I thought I was the only one that had a stroke, on Facebook and all this. And then we found these groups, and I started interviewing people or talking to people. I thought this is great. So now this is my passion. It's like this is your passion, aphasia readers. I mean,
yeah.
so something good came out of it.
Exactly. And so I think that's part of the healing process. I don't know
Yeah,
if you feel the same,
yeah,
but like
absolutely.
I feel like connecting with others and helping others helps both of us heal
Yeah,
and helps us kind of have hope for a better future if we can kind of do what we can, you
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, so true. So what would you tell some people out there, like, you run into people that just really down and out, the stroke. I mean, what would you tell somebody that's like a recent stroke survivor or is not really, or a brain injury, I should say, brain injury survivor that's going through a difficult time?
yeah, I would say keep fighting.
Yeah,
Like I just
yep,
keep at it because that's so important. You can't give up,
yeah,
and keep fighting for yourself, keep fighting for your family, your loved ones, whoever you're surrounded by, do it for them too, because it's just important to get to a certain place where you can either find your new passion, find your new purpose,
yeah,
think of things that you can do and do them and be passionate about it. And life can still be fulfilling in that way. It may not, it may look a lot different than what you thought it was, would
right,
be, but you can still do what you love. You just have to find that new love and keep
yes,
fighting for it.
absolutely. I'm
Oh,
glad you said that. But I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your journey, and it's still a journey, and I
yeah.
think you said it somewhere, which I always say too, is that every journey is different. There's not one stroke survivor, brain injury survivor, and what a caregiver you are. I mean, the
Oh,
passion you have for this, because a lot of people they they don't stick around. I mean, I'm sure I don't know if you've heard that with other survivors that they just, I don't like the one thing someone said, well, I didn't sign up for this. Well, you actually did. I mean, through
yeah.
health and all, can't remember all that. But yeah, so you guys are such a. I mean, I've seen the comments here about you're a lovely couple. You're, the whole thing about you guys just are so good together.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Heather, that's right. It's just another day. Don't dwell on it. Yeah. Thank you, Serena, for their positivity.
And I see the comment about I can't read. Some of our books, it's important to know and notate that it may not be, a good fit for everybody, depending on what kind of aphasia they have and what area of the brain that was affected. Because if it affected that kind of reading center, it would be difficult and frustrating for them to try to read aloud. So, so that's important to know, like if our tool would be a good resource for you. Yeah, you'd have to be able to read and read aloud.
But like you said, you have cutout pictures and things in there. So this is, if you guys go to this, aphasiareaders.com, that's where you can find all the information. And it's the wealth of information, such great information on there for, I went through every single section, and there's something in there every single section that's not like, I'll breeze over this one, but they're so good. You both did a great job on that. Really.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's sweet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is how such a stroke star I am. You see all the comments in the and I'm bringing them up. Oh gosh, sorry.
No, I can see them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, well, good. That's good. Any last words you want to get out there? We want to share with the world?
No, I just, think that, just keep fighting and, just find your passion. And I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, is just keep fighting.
Yeah. Doing your thing daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Ryan, I appreciate you being here, sharing your journey, as well as Anna.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, if there's any other questions, let's see. Stroke anniversary was yesterday. Oh, Kit. Awesome. Yeah, there are so many positive things out there and about this, and I'm glad that we met and got to do this. It was my complete honor to have you guys on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to be here with you.
Yeah, me too. It's just terrific. But you guys, there's a lot of people that will watch the replay, or hashtag replay, that miss it, because I've gotten a lot of people said they'll have to watch it, because of appointments and things like that. So again, you guys, right here, aphasiareaders.com, check it out. I mean, the books are in there, and 1, 2, 3. Do you plan on doing another one?
I think I'm taking a break for a little while. I kind of need to take a breather. I've got 2 companies and taking care of Ryan and doing a lot. I'm involved in the community, our local community, and
Good.
so I'm gonna probably take a break. I'm not saying we won't do any more,
right?
But the plan has always been to do 3, and we did 3. So and unless there's a need or someone has an idea for something they'd like to see, which we always encourage,
Sure.
If you guys want to have an idea or want to see something, or please let us know. You can reach us at info@aphasiareaders.com. You can email us and let us know. But, we there's a lot that goes into it to do a book. So like I said, we're not saying we're not going to do any more, but we're going to take a little break for now.
Yeah. And when you mentioned info@aphasiareaders.com, but it's right. If you go to, because that's where I was going to put my little comments in there, aphasiareaders.com, all that information's in there, and they can, contact us. Is that the section, contact us, and so
yeah,
that's great stuff. And Heather, thank you. So anyway, anything else? Because you guys are wonderful couple, and I love the positivity as well with both of you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good, but
Well, thank you guys, everybody, for being here. I appreciate everyone coming here. Oh, they're okay. I see Deborah is asking, do you guys make time for a date night?
we do on occasion. Yes, we do. But I will say, I'm sure a lot of caregivers have this same issue, but sometimes it's hard because I work a lot.
Yeah.
Because now we're on a one income family since Ryan, he was not able to return to work. And so it does make it challenging to do, but we do make time sometimes for date night. Yeah, we do. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Anna and Ryan, thank you once again. It was fun. Love to do this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us, Jerry.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Absolutely. Well, we'll definitely will stay in touch, and you'll probably see my comments or suggestions, even though you've already got them. You did a great job. I'm just really proud of your book, your website that has all the information. Just amazing.
Well, thank you so much. We hope to keep growing it. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, take care, and thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it.
thank you so much.